If you have to pick an Avs game to be mad about for them losing, I think this is probably the one, at least lately. Avs lose to the New Jersey Devils 5-3.
Alex Newhook!
Oh boy.
Whoa!
The Avs have now lost 3 of their last 4. The Arizona loss, the Avs really played pretty well. Things just didn't go their way. The Calgary loss, they got the game to overtime. And while they came up short, it's not that bad of a thing. Then you have this one. They end up going up 3-0 on New Jersey, a team they should beat, and give up 5 unanswered goals. Yes, there's some context of the back-to-back there, but that's still probably the worst loss of this calendar year at very least. You could argue maybe the Columbus losses were worse earlier in the year, but this has got to be up there. I'm not here to make excuses for the Avs. That's just a game you should win. When you're up 3-0 against another team, you should win, full stop. Especially a team like New Jersey who's 10 games under 500 and just looking for reasons to lose. But this game never felt good for the Avs. Even when they were up 3-0, you're looking at the scoreboard and going, man, the Avs don't really deserve to be up by 3 in this game. To be honest with you, the score probably could have been a lot worse, as New Jersey did hit 3 posts in this hockey game, so things could have spiraled. From minute 1 to minute 60, the Avs just got dominated. The Avs only mustered 26 shots on goal to New Jersey's 43. It was pretty apparent who the better team was as far as the underlyings. It just didn't matter in the first period because the Avs drew 2 power plays and scored on both of them. As the Avs work this puck around the perimeter, they eventually get it over to the far side and work it down in low. They have a bunch of players crash the net as Landy just kind of throws this one low off the pad. It takes a funny bounce, shoots up into the air. You have the Devils overcommitting to the goal line a little bit. McKinnon can slide out into the slot where the puck is coming down, and he actually knocks this one out of midair. Pretty talented. Doesn't get very much on it, but it takes a couple of funny bounces, maybe hits some sticks on the way in, and ends up trickling through. Pretty vintage here. The Avs get a clean face-off win. Kale to McKinnon. McKinnon patiently waits for the seam pass to open up before hitting Rantanen right through it. Rantanen with the one-timer through. It's not really a very good shot from Rantanen, but it's placed well enough, and Nico Daws unfortunately doesn't handle it very well. It ends up in the net. If you're looking for a positive takeaway here, the Avs power play does seem to have found a little bit of something, moving away from that bumper play again, working that seam pass, getting good work from Makar up high. All of a sudden, power play looks good, even when the Avs' legs don't. So the Avs are up 2 out of the first period, and you feel like they kind of got away with one there. You get into the second, and they eventually get that third goal of the game, and that's where it really feels good, or in the end, bad. New Jersey's going to try a cute little slap pass almost. I guess it's more of a wrist shot, but it's a pass. And Makar is just going to clean pick it off and get the Avs going the correct direction. The Avs are just going to outskate Ners. This is Berkey leading the charge, who drops to McKinnon. Makar does a great job to stay on sides while charging deep into the zone. And you even have Devon Taves as the 4th man in. The Avs just beat the Devils up the ice. McKinnon walks through the middle and hits Taves for a one-timer on this side. Taves, the shot does get saved initially, but Makar, the man charging the net, yes, 2 defensemen deep in the zone. The rebound comes right out, and Makar says, cool, free goals. Cale Makar's 65th point of the year. He's an absolute freak. I've talked about him enough to know that he is an internal bright spot, so enjoy that. From there, though, the Avs just turned their engine off. Just completely kicked it down to 0. And unfortunately, when it came time that they needed to start the thing again, they didn't have any gas left in the tank. New Jersey just kept coming and coming and coming at Colorado, and eventually they got a couple of good bounces, and all of a sudden, the scoreboard looks a lot different. So as the Avs are entering the zone, you're going to see Berkey just kind of float toward the middle and get a little bit caught here as he doesn't recognize the man coming in on the backside. That gives enough room for a quality shot to get off. Now, this doesn't go in. It ends up hitting off of the post, but the Avs take a bit of a tough bounce as it goes through all of the bodies in front right to Thomas Tatar, who doesn't even get a good shot off. It just kind of bounces off of his knees and into the net. The Avs do get caught puck chasing a little bit on this play with a lot of switches and good work from the Devils. You have Landy kind of committing to this weird play where he gets caught flat-footed, but even then, the Avs are kind of okay here. You're left in a really tough spot if you're Sam Girard with two guys net front and one shooter on his backhand. The play here is to take the pass, and that's exactly what Sam Girard does. He does a great job to put his body in the way and actually prevents the pass from getting across and creating an extremely dangerous opportunity. Unfortunately, things just don't go his way. The puck bounces off of him and directly into the net. It's a tough one. Those two goals definitely fall under the category of making your own luck for me. New Jersey was the better team. They'd struggled with puck luck to that point in the game. They finally get some. They cut the lead down to 1. And then they let the Avs make all the mistakes. They're able to tie it up before the second period is even over because the Avs just got lazy and they started taking lazy penalties. There's no two ways around it. It's bad hockey. It's not acceptable. There is nothing special about this goal. The Devils are stuck on the perimeter. They work it around and eventually settle for a shot from the point. Kemper is screened pretty heavily. In a perfect world, maybe you want him to make this save and find it, but ultimately, don't take stupid penalties. That's how you prevent this goal. All of that nonsense comes in a 15-minute stretch in the second period, and the Avs are still tied 3-3. They still have an opportunity to win this hockey game, but again, they just couldn't get their engine started. Through the third period, it was more of the same, and if you want to make an excuse, yeah, it's a back-to-back. Yeah, they clearly had no legs left, but you're an NHL player. You got to find a way to do your job. By the halfway point of the third period, the Avs genuinely looked like zombies out there, barely moving their feet at all, just kind of shambling around the ice, hoping for the best. They did not get their best. Instead, they got lazy, dumb penalties, which cost them the hockey game in the end. You want to score goals on the Avs penalty kill? Just park a guy right in front of the net, maybe even a little off to the side on the goal line. The Avs will never, ever, ever, ever cover this guy's body. Ever. They're just playing to hope they get a stick on a puck to prevent it from getting in there. If it does, if there's a rebound, this is what happens. Free goals. The Devils would eventually add an empty netter on top of that for your 5-3 final, and game was terrible. You have no happiness from this game from the Avs side. You need better. You know they're better. That's just not okay. In a vacuum, this one game alone, you really should not be cool with it. But when you pull it out to the bigger picture, the Avs still have only 12 regulation losses on the season. Is this one a bad one? Yes, absolutely. This is one you mark down. If the Avs come up short on a President's Trophy race, this is definitely one of the games you're going to be looking at. But as far as larger impact on the season goes, this game really isn't going to be that meaningful. The Avs are going to continue to be one of the top teams in the league. New Jersey is going to continue to be a bottom feeder, and that's that. With a day's rest, I would bet everything I own that the Avs have a better effort in their next game. And on the whole, it's pretty clear that this game is a total anomaly. It's not a loss that we are used to seeing from Colorado this year. It's a genuinely terrible hockey game from the Avs, and those are very few and far between this year. So, go through this game, say everything you need the Avs to do better, be better, and I think you're pretty much correct. There is not a lot of good to take out of this, but I also think they'll be just fine. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. Head on over to thednvr.com for all of our coverage. I am Rudo, and that game was pretty disappointing.
Avalanche time, come on, grab your friends. We're going to the playoffs again with Nate.